Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Star Raptor. Welcome back to the channel. It's time to talk about some Star Wars comics. I've been away for 2 weeks, and luckily for me, there was only two comics that came out in the meantime. One from last week, one this week. Before we get started, I have a bunch of Comic-Con coverage from San Diego that's going to be up on the channel pretty soon, so make sure you subscribe for that and more on Star Wars. Getting into it, from last week's issue, we have Darth Vader, issue number 48. This one's called Son of Vader. Of course, it's written by Greg Pak with artwork by Raphael Ienco, as always. And there's 3 issues left, guys. Just 3 issues left of a Darth Vader comic. With the way things are going, probably not going to see a Darth Vader comic for a while. But getting into it, this one's all about Luke Skywalker, as the title would suggest. We have Luke that was last we seen being hunted by Sabe and Warba. And now we know the true reason why Sabe and Warba are after Luke. So Sabe is after Luke because she's learned about the Sith. She's learned about Darth Vader. She's learned about the Emperor, how they're both Sith and they cause chaos and destruction. And she knows Luke might be one, so she's testing Luke to see if he's a Sith. If he's a Sith, she's going to take him out. But we realize, or she realizes, that he is not exactly a Sith. And she does things to really aggravate Luke, like knocking out Warba, like knocking out R2, gets Luke enraged. And when he gets enraged, Vader feels it through the Force, the connection of father and son. I thought that was very interesting. So we also find out from Warba that she also had a bit to play with Luke. It wasn't just Sabe. So Warba was tasked by Vader to alert Vader when she finds Luke. And she basically spills the beans to Luke, of course. And Luke says, you know what? Let's just call him anyway. Because Sabe and Warba both see that Luke is a good guy. He is not like his father, the Emperor. He is definitely not a Sith. And they believe that he's going to be a truly good person, a good hero. So they say, okay, let's spring the trap. And they call Vader. He gets the signal. And this is right after he's gotten the Kyber crystal for the shield, for the staff. He has raided Exegol successfully. And basically Sly Moore is saying, hey, look, like, we want to go and kill Luke because Luke is the prize of the Emperor. If we basically refuse the prize of the Emperor, what's going to happen? That's going to aggravate him, that we're going to get our goals set. So we end up seeing Vader say, no, he's not ready, as in, no, I think Vader wants to use him against the Emperor, but Vader knows that Luke is not quite ready yet. He's got some more training to do, maybe some more dark side exploration, whatever have you. So we get further into the story. That's where the Luke story ends, essentially, is them just going on their way, preparing for Vader to arrive, maybe. Meanwhile, Vader is still on Exegol, and he finds out that the Mars Corps, which are the cyborgs he has tampered with, are getting rid of their programming with Vader, and they're actually going to go and attack Vader. So they attack with a ship. He easily handles them. But then we find a true reasoning for Sly Moore, the true, I guess, allegiance. And she is trying to take Vader in. She sides with the Mar Corps, and they put a chip into Vader's head, and now he is subservient to everybody else. And Sly Moore basically wants to take down Luke, wants to take down Vader to become the apprentice of Palpatine. Yeah, so I don't think that's going to end very well. But that's how we end the issue, is that Vader is basically knocked out. The Mar crew is back for more because their ship exploded, but they weren't on the ship at the time. So there's a lot going to happen in these last 2 issues that I'm very, very excited for. So that's it for Darth Vader issue number 48. But today, while I'm recording this, Wednesday, July 31st, we did get Darth Maul Black, White, and Red. This is the final issue of the 4-issue miniseries, issue number 4. And this is another one written by Greg Pak. It's also got artwork by Luca Pizzari and Will Slidey. So each one of these is an anthology issue, as we've tackled throughout the lifespan of this comic on this channel. And this one is interesting. Yeah, peace and quiet. So, you know, juxtaposed to the idea of the Sith causing chaos and destruction and hatred and just, you know, intention and different kind of very aggressiveness, Emperor instructs Darth Maul to go to this one planet and simply meditate. So that was a curveball. We don't really see a Sith such as Maul meditating. I mean, you go back to the Phantom Menace, you see Qui-Gon there meditating while Maul is just furious going back and forth. So we get to see a little bit of reprieve for Maul in this issue. We get to see that it doesn't last very long. He goes to this planet, finds out that there's somebody messing with this one person that's been there for a while. this business is starting up, causing problems for the locals, and Maul doesn't want to have any of it. He finds out that after trailing the person, that they end up getting killed by some animals, wild animals, and then the prince comes in, and Maul thinks this guy is a jerk and kills the prince, and then the prince's father comes in, and then Maul kills the father as well. So it's just one thing, the dominoes fall, one thing after the other. Maul is just going after and just going on a blood fury, even though he's supposed to have peace and quiet. But then Emperor arrives and he says, looks like you found your peace and quiet, or something to that degree, because Maul has found it, but it's shortly after he's killed dozens of people. So there you have it. I enjoyed this issue. I think the artwork, the color is so good in this issue. I gotta give a shout out to the colorist here because this really stuck out to me. And the colorist on this one was Andres Mosa. The red, the use of red in this was very effective. I loved it. Better than most of the other ones. I think it's a standout for that. But overall, solid work. I don't know if this is going to really affect canon all that much with these short stories. That doesn't really matter. This is just showing the adeptness of Maul and his skill and him before we see him in the Phantom Menace. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Check it out in trade paperback form if that's more your speed, probably in the next couple of months. There was other announcements at San Diego Comic-Con, or actually not even at San Diego Comic-Con, technically. It was actually before San Diego Comic-Con. We got the news that we're going into the post-Return of the Jedi era of Star Wars storytelling. We're getting basically 3 4-issue miniseries that are going to span the next couple months, because surprisingly, we're getting issues, like a couple issues a month, going into what's Luke and Leia mostly doing during the Battle of Jakku, and it looks like we're going to get the Governor Adelhard from the Star Wars Uprising mobile game. This one's called Star Wars: The Battle of Jakku. Something about the insurgency. Then we're going to have 2 other miniseries that follow that have names that I did not do my homework on ahead of time, so I apologize for that, but you can find that on StarWars.com. I'm very happy about that. About time that Star Wars goes in that direction. I'm very curious to see what happens after these, because I think we'll be finished up with this by December or something. So going into the new year, 10 years with Star Wars Marvel Comics, with the refresh back in 2015, that's going to be very interesting to see where they go from here. Maybe they'll start to verge more into the Mandoverse. We'll see about that. We also got an acknowledgement that we are getting more High Republic Marvel stories from Kevin Scott. This time it's going to be a continuation of the Keith Trenner story that is currently happening, and it's going to include Kalnaka from the Acolyte for some connective tissue. So very good stuff from the publishing, from the stuff before the publishing. But yeah, you can hear more about that when me and Matthew go live on the Star Wars Underworld podcast feed next, or the YouTube channel and the podcast, I'm sure, I guess eventually, on the YouTube channel next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll probably break down that in a little bit more detail and back and forth. So you heard it here first. Make sure you subscribe to the Underworld, Star Wars Underworld, and check out the Tractor Beam every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is going to do it for Mr. Raptor. Thank you so much for watching. Check out all the content on the channel. A lot of stuff coming from San Diego Comic-Con. Thanks for watching. May the Force be with you always. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at StarRaptor.